Shaman Kill.
And it's Dr. Roz.
We jumping right back into where we left off, man. Because
Right, so don't judge our outfits. He doesn't allow me to do a wardrobe change.
we're jumping right back to where we got off at about the whole he who finds a wife finds a good thing. And from chopping it up with my pastor and his wife, they said, and I agree with, I don't see anything wrong with a woman asking out a man. Now, for women, I think it just goes against what y'all were raised or how society has raised y'all and things like that. And y'all can quote, I get it's the women, y'all can quote some scripture that has to deal with anything that y'all want to happen.
Dude, because did I hit you with that real quick?
Yeah, you did. Anything else, y'all don't know what turn it.
Like, how you just not gonna just act like you ain't never heard of that before?
If it ain't Genesis, Malachi, or Revelations, y'all can't find nothing else in the Bible. But y'all can jump to them scriptures about the wife or what the man do or whatever.
Well, here's the truth. When I was dating, I did have, kind of ways of like trying to get to know a dude. But I wanted to leave it up to him. Like, I would approach a dude, but it wouldn't be under the guise of, I'm trying to go out with you kind of thing. Because I just feel like, I don't know, maybe it's my southernness, but I just feel like you need to make the first move.
And I mean, and that's cool. It's just, again, it's under the guise of what you want. If you're looking, if a woman who is 30 plus, and I know a rack of women who are 30 plus, who are looking for relationships, who are looking for a man, who are looking to get married. If you want that, I just feel like you have to put yourself in a position to be seen. Like, you can't just be sitting in your living room.
I agree with that.
Hoping that the cable man who comes by is cute, who gonna fix your cable box, and he ain't married. You've got to put yourself. So I'm not saying to get out there and go on a high alert search, because
yes, you must clarify, my friend.
I truthfully,
because people be like, Kill said I could go ask a man out.
I don't say nothing wrong with asking a man out. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, let me back up.
Mm-hmm.
And
all the way back.
This is gonna be some of the 90% of the biblical functions of this site. Is that I truthfully and honestly believe in that everything should start with prayer.
Well, yes, absolutely.
I believe in that. I believe in, if you feel as a woman or as a man, I just feel like women, y'all are in a more messed up place than what men are.
Well,
what I mean by that is that I feel like the single friends I have that are men, they got a rack of women to choose from. Like, if they decided, I want to go get married tomorrow,
clarify.
They have
options.
A rack of people to choose from. I feel like with the women, y'all just get the short end of the stick, and it's like y'all don't have no smorgasbord. It ain't like gold corral for y'all that y'all can pick through all these men. So what I'm saying is that I feel like as a man or a woman, you should be praying, what do I have to complete in myself?
Yeah.
What do I have to get myself ready for?
Yeah.
To be ready for a man. Because you have some women who haven't been in relationships in a long time. You may have a woman who hasn't been in a relationship for years. And I always say, usually by the time we're 27, 28, we're kind of stuck in our ways.
Yeah.
So, if you're
used to being for real.
if you're used to being single, then it's going to be really hard for you to now all of a sudden be in a relationship and be compromising and doing all these things. So if you want that relationship and you feel like you want to get married, I feel like you got to start working on and praying on, God, show me who I have to be, what do I need to work on, and things like that.
And what can I bring to a relationship?
Right.
Because oftentimes, most people don't even know what they necessarily bring to a relationship. And I'm not talking about your job or your car or your house, but you as a person. What's inside of you that will work in a relationship?
And it's almost what we were talking about before. Where do I need how does this person compliment?
Absolutely.
How does this person, if I don't cook, can this person cook? Which is why me and her can never be together, because she can't cook and I can't cook. So we probably die of high blood pressure because we be eating out every day.
Dang, you just put me on blast. I've been trying to learn how to cook, everybody.
It is what it is. You know what I mean?
So I'm getting better.
At the end of the day, and maybe God will put on your heart, you need to learn how to cook yourself. While you're being single, this is time you take to learn how to cook. But again, it goes back to now for people who because I actually had a good conversation with one of my best friends
That's
about
my one
this.
flaw. Just thought
Sure,
I
just that
my
one.
one flaw.
The one.
Everything else is
Right. I was just having a good conversation with one of my close friends just about, because he was like, well, you know, I hear you and other people say, you know, well, God tells me, and if I hear God's voice, and he was trying, he was asking, like, how does that work? And the funny thing was, is I was asking Tanya, you know, can people who really aren't saved or who don't have a personal relationship, can they hear God's voice? And I really don't know the answer to the question. But I could give an example, and like I told him, like maybe about, God, this was maybe 11 years ago. Yeah, 11 years ago, my grandmother had gotten real sick. And I had just went up to Philly. I had just gotten saved. I mean, like, just gotten saved. Like, just saved.
The week before.
And I went to Philly, and my grandma's a huge sports fan. So I was just like, you know, I'm just reading the sports pages to her. And my aunt's friend, I'm trying to make this story kind of quick, but it's going to wrap all up together. My aunt's friend was like, you know, I had this dream that you had to lead your grandmother to salvation. And I was like, what's that mean? I don't know what you're talking about. But even when she was like on like her last leg and she was, you know, dying, and the rest of my family was in the living room because she was, you know, they had brought her home from the hospital, like, you know, she's gonna die. You know, she might as well pass.
Yeah,
And my family was in the living room, and I wanted to leave, you know, but I was just reading Bible scripture to her, and something in my spirit was like, no, stay, keep reading, even though I wanted to leave. And to me, like, that's how God speaks to you. It's just something that comes in your spirit, and I really can't. It's one of those things that's hard to explain because it wasn't like my conscience saying, it was just something in my spirit saying, no, this is where you need to be. Keep reading.
And God said He also sends confirmation,
right?
You know, and I think that's, if you are being still and open to hearing that and listening, you can miss it.
Right.
You can miss it. I believe He speaks to all of us.
Right. So the situation with that is most people don't want to hear from God because a lot of times God is going to tell you something you don't want to hear. I didn't want to hear stay. I wanted to hear go in the living room. Who wants to see their grandmother die in front of them? You know, and that was my big thing. Like, I don't want to have these memories. I want my memories to be
you
good
want your fun memories.
But the great thing is, I can't. It's like God wiped my memory clean. Like, I can't even think about those times, even if I wanted to. Like, those memories are gone.
That's great.
You know, but God may tell you some things you may not want to hear. And that's one reason why it's hard listening to God. And then two, God's time is not our time. No, God's ways are not our ways. So we want to know how to find a man. Why do people come to the site? Because they want to know today. When people send in an email, if we don't answer that question,
oh my goodness,
we get 2 more emails.
Did you get my email?
People want answers. We live in a microwave society where people want to know the answers right now. And that's okay. We're not complaining. Keep doing that. We're not complaining. Yeah. All we're saying is that when you're waiting on God, it may take some time. Yeah. But like we were talking about at the last panel we were at, was we're so concerned about the right now. Yeah. And we're not concerned about the future.
We're not future focused.
We need to be more focused on the future because even if it takes God for a year to tell you, for you to get confirmation, that during that year you can be doing other things versus complaining, well, God, why you ain't said nothing? And then what we do is we take it upon ourselves to do things. And truth be told, like I'll say and we all say, doing it my way obviously wasn't working. Because if it was working, you know, one of the assistant pastors at my church was saying, you know, the #1 seller on Amazon.com is self-help. So it's either how to find a man, how to lose weight, how to do, how to. How to is the #1 seller on Amazon. You know, so it's obvious that if y'all are on this site to say, well, how can I find a man? And
you
obviously,
want tools.
What y'all are doing hasn't worked, or the men you've been picking haven't been the right men, and same thing with dudes, the women you haven't picked. So it's one of those things where you can do it yourself again, but it's just so much easier to just, you know, wait on God, and that's my Bible moment.
It's okay.
But
we're Jesus freaks.
That's the moral of waiting on God, to kind of, you know, tell you, you know, this is the type of man or woman you need, or things like that. And then I think from there it just kind of ties into the whole situation of now waiting and being patient. Now, in that waiting, in my opinion, this is the 10% of the non-biblical side coming out, I don't think that means I gotta sit in my house with a Bible in front of me.
You absolutely should not.
I think you should, during these times, figure out what you like to do.
You need to get out of your community.
Go hear music. You know, go enjoy yourself and put yourself, not necessarily in a position, I don't want to say it like that, but figuring out what you like to do.
Do what you do, because people become attracted to you when they see that you are enjoying you.
Right.
You know, when you're doing your thing, people can see that. People see the light in you.
And people think it's like, go to the club. You don't gotta
no,
go to the club.
You ain't gotta
it
go
can
to
be,
the club.
You know what? I like volunteering.
Yeah.
I want to go feed the homeless.
Yeah.
I want to go read the sick kids in the hospital. It can be, but I think it's got to be something that you're passionate about.
The essence of you will shine when you are doing, if you're doing you.
Right.
You ain't even gotta. You ain't gotta work hard.
Right. So at the end of the day, you know, and in that you'll meet people who may be passionate about the same things that you are. Now, again, he may not be 6'5". He may not have a Benz. But at the end of the day, that's why you got to get that list together about what are the core things. What are the core things? What's the foundation? Because that's what we have to realize. It's almost like building a house. You know, you want to have a good foundation.
Yeah,
you don't want to build on shaky ground or, you know, bad soil or whatever. You want to make sure that your house is built on a firm foundation, so when bad storms and tornadoes and everything hit, that your house is not going to move. And it's the same thing that we have to base our relationships and our marriages on. Because if not, I mean, if we're building our foundation on, he got a Benz that could get totaled tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, he's got this job. Then in this economy,
or you know, he's probably struggling to pay for that Benz.
Right. You know, but I'm just saying that those are the things that you can't build your marriage on, because all those things are going to 9 times out of 10, you know, change. You know, unless dude is like a gym freak, or, you know, shorty just, even after having 3 kids, you know, they still sit up nice and right and everything like that. Your body is gonna change, you know. And at the end of the day, like we were talking about a minute ago, is, you know, if you're blessed to not die in some kind of crazy accident, we're all gonna have health issues.
Yeah.
You know, it's inevitable. You know, I read in a book once, they said from the minute you're born, you're just dying. From the minute you're born, you're dying. So at the end of the day, we're all gonna have to deal with health issues. We're all gonna have to deal with those.
You're gonna have to deal with some plight.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to deal with some plight.
So it's just really building that strong foundation, but so much of that comes from dating, because so many people get into marriages and then we're like stuck in a situation of, how do I get my husband to talk, or how do I get my wife to do this, and how do we do all these things? And these are all discussions that could have been had prior to, you know. And what we want to teach a lot of people who are dating and just in relationships is really being the real you, not putting a representative forward. So then that way we don't hear stories like, well, why was the dating game so much fun and now we're married and I hate her and she hates me and it's boring.
Like, be honest. My advice to anyone that's trying to have a relationship, just be honest at the onset. You know,
but you know the thing is, we've been taught to lie
so much.
We've been taught to put your best foot forward. I always tell people,
well, why can't your best foot be your truth?
I mean, I agree.
So I'm gonna respect your truth way more than I respect your lies.
Right. But I think we've just been raised to lie. I always say, like in Love Jones, if Nina just would have just told Darius, look,
it wouldn't have been a great movie though. So
yeah, you're right. But I'm just saying, in real life, if Nina would have just said, look, my old dude came back, he trying to holler, but I'm truthfully really feeling you.
Yeah.
But if you ain't feeling me, then I'll bounce to NY. Right. But if you feeling me, then I'm screw, forget dude, and we good. And then Darius could have been like,
can we have
screw dude, I'm feeling you, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
End the story.
Yeah.
Movie over.
But I'm so glad that wasn't how it went down.
Right.
I love the movie.
But it's society. That's, instead of just being honest, saying that this is the situation that's in front of me right now, and I'm coming to you to figure out which way I should make this move. You know, we play the games. You know, we listen to our girlfriends who ain't never had a man, and we listen to our homeboys who ain't never been in a relationship, and that's how we make our decisions. But
listen to God.
More on the whole, the difference between dating and marriage, because that was a huge question and discussion piece at the last panel we were on, why it is a difference. So, tilldeathinfo.com. It's your man, Kill.
And Dr. Raj.
Keep it locked.